On today's Hiwatt Soundbite, we're premiering a brand new single, Made in Canada. Well, am I ever excited to share the results from last week's arranging session and a brand new single from a really cool band named c0nDu1T. Brian and Sascha, thank you both so much for sharing your new song on the channel. This song is available on Bandcamp as of this morning, and this single arrangement is like 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. So for today's session, let's have a listen to this entire track and then come back and break down that arrangement a little bit. Check out the lyrics of this song. I absolutely love it.
I've got your ignorance in high definition. I'll give you credit, can't afford the commission. Your mouth keeps spitting words to add to the confusion. We want another way, we want a revolution. Manipulate and fabricate the conscience of the nation. Millennial law in full effect, need some castration. Social stars, they bring the hate, what they don't comprehend. Cancel culture, sharing like, bring us all to that end. Someone save me from the politic pollution. Someone change the channel, we need a transfusion. Take a number and we'll be right with you. Operator standing by to take your contribution. Someone save me from the politic pollution. Someone change the channel, we need a transfusion. Take a number and we'll be right with you. Operator standing by to take your contribution. Talking heads and mumble on, this isn't what we paid for. Watching the lick carry on, take a bit, then take some more. Fighting for your numbers and policy infusion. Everyone is chiming in, no one cares, no one wins. The conscience of the nation, they need some castration to what they don't comprehend. They'll bring us all to that hand. 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 Someone save me from the politic pollution. Someone change the channel, we need a transfusion. Take a number and we'll be right with you. Operator standing by to take your contribution. Someone save me from the politic pollution. Someone change the channel, we need a transfusion. Take a number and we'll be right with you. Operator standing by to take your contribution.
Yeah, I loved that song the very first time I heard it. I remember Brian playing me the demo of this song over a year ago and just lit up. I was like, Brian, if it works into the schedule, I want to help out on that track for sure. Yeah, I love the lyrics in this song, and that along with the simplicity of the track itself just loans itself to a really awesome alternative single. Now, just like I mentioned in last week's session, the original multi-track that Brian supplied me was like 4 minutes and 10 seconds long. And I think that the first chorus didn't land until 1 minute and 48 seconds into the song. Well, for certain genres of music on an album, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to gain some kind of commercial success in any way, shape, or form with that song, that's not going to cut it. You've got to get to the payoff way faster than that. And that was my objective with this edit. I just wanted to get to the meat and potatoes of this song right out of the gate. Now, I'm sure some of you can relate to this, but over the past decade, I've really shifted the balance of where I put my energy into a production. Back in the day, I would just sit down and try and engineer my way to a good mix. What I've learned is that it's far more beneficial to produce your way to a good mix. And arrangement is what it's all about. Oh yeah, this is a great example of just how aggressive I'll sometimes get with an edit. Depending on what it is that I'm trying to create and produce. In this particular case, I knew I wanted a single. I wanted it under 3 minutes, and I knew I had to get aggressive if I wanted that to happen. The original arrangement was like intro, verse, pre-chorus, into an instrumental section, back into another verse, pre-chorus, and then finally the chorus. Well, I just got down and dirty with this edit on the single, and I just went intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Out of that into a sort of second verse / solo, boom, into a breakdown, and then out on the chorus. It totally achieved what I wanted. I get to that first chorus inside 40 seconds. That original arrangement, we would have had to wait more than another minute until we got to that first chorus. I encourage you to get creative in this department. This is some of the most fun that I have producing music today, is arranging. And some of the unbelievable happy accidents that you come across. Totally cool surprises by just trying different things out. In last week's session, I mentioned that I had removed the entire second verse from the song. Well, instead of allowing that lyrical content to just fly out the window forever, I was like, where can I fly the lead vocal in? And this is where I encourage you to experiment. I simply copied the second verse vocal and pasted it right on top of what's called the bridge or the solo section. And this is a unique scenario where normally I'm not going to be pasting a lead vocal right on top of a solo section, but this old school analog solo totally complements the vocal. The two of these things work really well together. Well, let's have a quick listen to this vocal / solo coming out of the first chorus. Well, just for reference, let's go listen to that same vocal section in the original arrangement. Check it. Totally cool as originally arranged, but I love that verse being flown into the solo / bridge section. To me, it just works so well, particularly as we come out of it. The way it ends and lands into the kind of breakdown that I created. Check it.
Everyone is coming in, no one cares, no one wins. The conscience of the nation.
Yeah, the very first time I heard that, I was like, done. That is exactly where that vocal's going. And for this breakdown, I just muted one of the two vocal parts and allowed only the answer to happen. And I thought it worked really, really well. Check it.
No one cares, no one wins. The conscience of the nation. They need some castration to what they don't comprehend. They'll bring us all to that hand. That hand.
And here's a great example of what I was talking about last week, where I like to go in and finesse my edits. That it's not enough to just glue two pieces together without considering what's happening before and after that edit. In this example, we're coming out of the breakdown of my arrangement into a sort of 4 on the floor kick and bass sequence. I think that goes for 8 bars. I've got the live drums muted during this section. Well, instead of just unmuting the live drums on the downbeat of the next section, it makes way more sense to go find a really cool fill from somewhere else in the track. That's exactly what I did here. In fact, I ended up combining 2 different fills for this one section, and it works so well. So we end up having this really cool electronic drum beat going for a few bars, and then when that drum kit comes back in with some attitude. Check it. Yeah, straight up, I had a blast putting this track together, moving things around and just getting experimental, hacking big chunks out. I strongly encourage you to get creative when you're creating arrangements. We're working in a totally non-destructive mode. You can make as many arrangements as you want without ever affecting or messing with that artist's original arrangement. So, I said last week that I like keeping the original arrangement intact and in the same session on my timeline. Well, there's a lot of reasons that I like to do that, but one of them is just pure respect to the band. I mean, I'm not going in here and hacking their song up with any other intention other than to make it killer, the best possible track that I can. So just out of pure respect to the band, I like to leave that original arrangement intact. Yeah, I think you can tell I'm excited about this new single, Politic Pollution by Conduit. Go check it out on Bandcamp. And thank you for sitting in on today's session.
They'll bring us all to an end.